absolute bet. Made for live betting.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
It's the quick scope! This is unreal! Anything is possible! Anything is possible! You still always a monster, Tom!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to StarSeries. We're going into what is our second best of three, but the fourth of the day. The last for the secondary stream. It is going to be Renegades, also known as the boys, facing off against GODSENT. And I'm actually really excited for this matchup. I think it's going to be one of the closer ones of the day. We've had some upsets already, of course. Just look at AGO, Tyloo, and Avangard all within the 1-0 standings. I think Liquid and SK are the sort of expected ones, but even SK had some real trouble actually getting through their series as well. It's not been a day of sort of like everything going to plan, all the top teams going through to that 1-0. And actually, if you look at for someone like Team Liquid, they've got to be laughing.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was going to say, right?
They can play against.
At this point in time, it's like it's actually worse if you go into that 0-1 section. I think you look at it, you got NRG in there. They've looked really, really good. You've got what like Ambit now. But between Mouse and North, I'm not sure who's going to end up there, but either one of them is like a pretty scary team to face. And then obviously we have either NIP or HR heading down there as well. So there are no easy games. And I think at this point in time, if you've been lucky enough to get through to that 1-0 area of the group, you're probably pretty happy with how things have turned out.
Yeah, but either way, going into this matchup, I'm really looking forward to this one. I know that you are incredibly biased.
I love Swedish count. No, I'm a big fan of the boys, Tom. Everyone knows it. I say it all the time. I think they're great. I just saw JKS in the toilet, and I said good luck. He didn't hear me. I was like, yeah, man, good luck. And he just walked out, and I was like, oh, but it's because he didn't hear. I was quite far away. And yeah, greeting someone in the toilet is always awkward.
Actually, how are you quite far away? Like, that room is very small.
Yeah, I just said
I was standing behind him.
But no, to me, that's just
I whispered in his ear.
That suggests that he's focused, Tom.
Or he doesn't like you.
No, that is another option. But let's take a look at
Who
the
are you?
picks
Why are you talking to me in the toilet?
the bans, Tom. I mean, if anyone spoke to me in a toilet, I would ignore them, to be fair. Would you? Or is that where you go for the majority of your conversation?
Yeah, I go for natters and selfies. That's the main reason I actually go to the toilet.
For what?
Natter, like to have a little chat.
Oh, okay, right. I didn't know what that was, and then I realized, yeah, it's a very, very British word. Inferno and Overpass, Tom. Two of my favorite maps. First up in the map pool, Renegades bringing out the Inferno pick, GODSENT with the Overpass pick. I'm curious what map we're going to be left with. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Mirage being the last map. I think that's a pretty good, even ground map for both of these teams. I think if you're a team like GODSENT, you're pretty good on it. And yeah, it's going to be the case. That's the last map. I just predicted that one, Tom. Give me your rundown of these three.
Yeah, I think that this should actually be a fairly close series. I think realistically, Renegades do have the slight edge. I've been pretty impressed with how they've been doing recently. I think Jacob has been excellent. He's been looking like a true star within this roster. And obviously then you've got Nifty, who at any point can just pop off with that AWP. So I'm pretty excited to see what they can do. And then on the other side, you have a roster just filled with sort of explosive players who can just turn up at any moment. The youngster of Brolin, who really has gone leaps and bounds and proving like the up-and-coming talent of Sweden is definitely there, and I think he's one of the guys to focus on. Obviously, again, you talk about explosive AWPers. You got Nifty on one side, Twist on the other, who can completely dominate a series at times, has probably one of the better skill ceilings just in CS, but sometimes he's just not on the board at all, and I think he is a player who can very easily just have his sort of ups and downs, and if he starts a little bit slow, problems can arise. So I'm very excited sort of by this roster. Obviously, you even look at sort of some of the teams that each of them are beaten, like, well, obviously sitting down there, like Mouse Sports, obviously 25-23, a very close series, beating Optic a couple of times, but that was actually for the qualification to Cologne, which Renegades managed to do. I was up very late, actually, watching and casting that game. So, yeah, Renegades looked strong in that series. I think they did lose Train to Optic, but yeah, and then on the other side, I feel like the matches are slightly easier for GODSENT for what we've seen, at least. Like VP have been sort of pretty underwhelming recently. AGO, though, obviously they also beat VP, but losing to GODSENT. So I'll be interested to see what they can do at the LAN event as well. And I think, again, this is another sort of point to prove for GODSENT, because I'm pretty sure that GODSENT are a team that are sort of up for sale in a way. Like, I'm pretty sure Refresh are looking to try and get rid of them, but I think that they've definitely proven that there is something with this roster, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they can show it here and now. This is, again, another sort of big prospect for them. We've seen so many of the teams that are not necessarily expected to get through. They're one of the ones that came through the qualifier. Renegades, actually another team who got eliminated and then were invited back after other teams turned down their invites. So
yeah, of course they
couldn't necessarily, well, didn't necessarily, I want to say, earn their spot, but...
One thing I will say is, if you recall, Tom, it was actually at the last StarSeries, their first LAN event, you know, with Jacob. That was one they did very well, and they actually made it through to the playoffs, if you recall. It was one of the first times Renegades ever got to the playoffs of an event. And since then, I think they've gone kind of leaps and bounds, if you look at it like that. I mean, you think about it, when NAF left a long time ago now, everyone was like, oh, this team's dead. Like, there you go, RIP, the boys. And they've been pretty damn resilient. And Nifty has looked incredible. There was the famous 50 for Nifty game at IEM Sydney. You know, I mean, obviously, you don't kind of have like the home crowd advantage anymore. You know, like, that's one thing that I did like about this team as well. Is like, then obviously they looked okay at the EPL finals in Dallas. They didn't actually do too great, actually, from what I recall. That was probably one of their flattest performances to date.
Starladder events.
Yeah, they've always been quite kind. They've always been quite kind to Renegades.
Invitational.
Right? Yeah, exactly. They were able to win the Invitational. Then they go to the LAN. You know, this time with Jacob in the roster, and they get to the playoffs. They didn't. I think they went out in like the quarterfinals, right? But that was still like a big step for them when you look at the caliber of teams that were there. IEM Sydney, they make it through to what, the quarterfinals there, or is it the semis? Yeah, the semis where they lost versus Mouse Sports. So yeah, I mean, I think it's been a pretty turbulent time for them, but they've looked very, very good. And I think coming into this, on the back of that weak performance at EPL finals, they're probably not going to be feeling too great. I still think they're going to be the ones to take it. What do the odds say?
The odds actually go with GODSENT. I'm quite surprised by that, actually. Because I think in terms of like actual like event success, or at least a team that's been getting to a lot of events, I would say that Renegades are up there. Like, they've gone from mainly going through sort of like NA qualifiers to actually getting to more like playoff stages and actually being a team that can challenge versus some of the best. So yeah, I'm actually quite surprised to see the odds in GODSENT's favor. But at the same time, as said, out of all of the matches we sort of have today, all of the matchups, I think this is one of the more even ones. I think that this really could go either way.
I did also mean they went out of the quarters at IEM Sydney. I just checked. I thought I was right there, yeah. But, yeah, no, I agree, Tom. I think this is one that it could definitely go either way. If Renegades' form from Dallas is maintained, where they didn't look that great, then, yeah, you know, it's going to cause them a lot of problems. Plus, you have to take jet lag into account. You know, that does play a pretty big part in how well you play. And for these guys, they've been traveling all over the place. You know, you go Australia, then back to America, then you compete there and kind of get, like, just wrecked. And now they have to travel to Europe. Meanwhile, for the GODSENT guys, they haven't really had to go anywhere. You know, it's a short flight over to Ukraine.
This may actually be, I can't remember if it was them or somebody else, but they may have actually been the team that went 0-2 last time and then came all the way back. I wouldn't be surprised if it was them, because I distinctly remember having a similar conversation about jet lag and how that in the first couple of best of threes they played, I believe that they lost and then they won.
I know they definitely went 0-1 down, but then I think we started casting from that point onwards because I have like the whole stat of every Renegades game I've ever cast, they've won on land.
But that's what I thought, because I thought they were in the one of the last matches, like on the last day. I thought we casted them 3 days in a row.
Actually, that might be. You might be right, Tom. It doesn't matter.
Sure,
you know, off the top of our
way,
heads, we shouldn't be trying to do this. Yeah.
So we should see, because maybe that will be a factor here. And as said, we've already said that there's a lot of teams in that 0-1 that you don't want to end up against, and it will be. I feel like it'll be even more difficult this time to try and come back. I like how the Renegades logo is actually in the boat. They're having a nice little swim. They didn't obviously come over here by boat. That would have taken a very
also,
long time.
if you're having a little swim, but you're meant to be in a boat, I hate the but you're not having.
To be fair, their logo was actually the boat has a little bit of water in it. It's more like
that is true. But yeah, like if it, that's yeah. Well, anyway, knife round, everyone's favorite, especially if you're Connor Gervin. You love these.
Who's that?
I don't know. You tell me. Here's Renegade to win it out. They get to choose what side they start on then, Tom. What side will they pick? I'm going to riddle you that one, Tom. If you're Renegades, where do you want to start? You'd imagine the CT side, but maybe they throw a little curveball in.
You asked me a question, then answer it within the question.
I know. What can I say? Really knocking this one out the park, aren't I?
Well, yeah, I would be very surprised if they don't start over on that CT side and want to get off to obviously a strong start, get the AWP in for Nifty as soon as possible. Really looking to try and build up that extra utility, and yeah, no surprises there. I do think that this actually could work in GODSENT's favor, though, because I believe that, again, they're a very momentum-based team. If they get off to a decent start, again, get themselves that pistol and can deny some of the utility for Renegades, almost reverse, then there is a chance here. And you're still already going to be dinked up. Nifty will be able to find an opener, but he's very quickly traded out by the hands of Freddy B. JKS has managed to find another one. It's just going to be waiting around the corner is Azza, but at the moment it's not looking too good, and Ustilo on the site is going to be in quite a bit of trouble. He still manages one, which is actually far more valuable than you may expect, because it turns it into a 2 versus 2, and his remaining teammates are not only healthy, but have a kit.
Yeah, Jacob, JKS, it's all eyes on these two. They're a very dynamic duo down towards the B-bomb site. They're going to go rushing in, but Twist and Hampus, they close that round out very quickly. GODSENT winning the pistol here on the T side. That's a fantastic start for them. Let's not forget, this is the map pick of Renegades. It's favored towards the CT side, which the Renegades are also on as well. So if you are GODSENT finding the pistol and hopefully finding the consecutive anti-ecos, that is going to be a very big boost for you in this map.
Yeah, not so much invested into this round for Renegades. They like to save that extra money just to make sure that they can invest into further utility, and Nifty going to invest absolutely nothing. So this really is a good chance for GODSENT to make a large amount of cash early in this game.
It most certainly is. This is the sort of round you want to keep clean. You want to use those SMGs to make money. Try and do what you can. You can see 3 players stacked up over here for Renegades in the A bomb site, 2 outside of B. And this should just be a pretty clean sweep round. You're really not expecting Renegades to get too much done. They haven't invested a whole lot. I like this though. We've been seeing this more and more from teams, is especially on a map like Inferno, you hold off going for, you know, like the pistols and armor in this round. You just get a little bit of utility, maybe some CZ, a Deagle here and there. And then you have that much more to work with in round number 4. But here he is, Twist, leading the way.
His head.
Just as, yeah, he leans very far forward, but when it's getting you kills, what can you say? He's going to go and drop out Jacob. JKS now smokes it. Twist immediately going to try and find a double on the entry. And yeah, at this point, I think if you're Renegades, you don't even leave the A-bomb site. I think you just stay there, try and hold on to the CZs.
Yeah, they can at least look to try and reduce the amount of money that's made by those SMGs. Nifty may go looking for something because he literally has nothing in this round, but even still, just handing over $600 to this T side is not going to be the most beneficial thing for them. We may even see a little bit of a hunt coming out from GODSENT as well, who do just want to farm up any cash at all, because it was the AK of Twist that actually found those opening picks. Nifty just around the corner, looking like he is about to be spotted, and okay. Okay, just a couple of bullets spammed. I didn't even see that frag come in, but The remaining 2 at least should be able to hold on to what they've got, although, oh, okay, Azza actually finds a kill instead. Won't retrieve the UMP, but ultimately it's not too much of a loss for GODSENT. They'll still keep 4 players alive in this round, and Freddie B can go to the even cheaper Mac 10.
He most definitely can. And yeah, just pistols left out for Renegades. They want to get everything they can into the next round. They're going to have 4 utility. Tom, this is a nice little DOS round. We can talk about anything. We can talk about whatever is on your mind. Do you have any big inspirational quotes for the women and men at home?
No.
Wow. Yeah, that's a real great piece of content there. So, yeah.
Inspirational quotes. Do you want me to start like rattling off that I have a dream?
No,
is that
no.
what you're looking for?
No, I think, yeah, that's one of the greatest speeches of all time. I wouldn't want you to soil it with your words. I think, you know, anything,
Well, I think
anything you've been thinking about as of late, Tom, any big ideas?
No. I'm just trying to power drive this into the ground as much as possible.
That's great. Love to see it. Real supportive.
That is my mantra. To make things as difficult for everybody else as humanly possible. And try and make other people feel very uncomfortable. How am I doing?
Not that great. I feel pretty good all the time, Tom. You know, you could try and smite me down, but here's an inspirational quote for you.
I am beautiful no matter what.
You're always going to run into people like Tom in life, and it's important to realize that is just how they are. You know.
Oh, I
There's no
thought that was going to
helping
be
them.
far worse.
No. Here we go. 3-0 lead for GODSENT. Rifles out. UMP's Freddie B and Disco Doppler. An attempt at the bonus round. Nifty has the AWP. And you can see, as a result of not buying the pistols and armor into that second round, he's got armor up behind the AWP now. But that's a fight that they should not be letting go the way of Disco Doppler. Roland's aggressive. He's already found Nifty. My goodness. GODSENT just exploding in towards the A bomb. So they're going to go back through CT now. An attempt to split into B. Perhaps Azza does spot this. That's the bomb dropped. But still so many kills to find. Players coming his way. And the second almost going to be 3. Azza's given them a fighting chance back into a round it looked like they were locked out of. You still are going to try and wrap around the back. And Disco Doppler will be discovered down towards the stairs. 2 versus 2. This was a 5-on-2 at one point in time. Hampus going to try and topple one of the men who threw this whole round into chaos. So he goes blow for blow with Ustillo. He's going to lose that fight, and now it's twisted a 1v2.
Decent chance for him here. But definitely not the way this round should have gone. Doesn't know where one of the remaining players is, and that's why he's still pushing in towards this A site. Although I wonder if Jacob will get itchy feet. Never mind, Ustillo just executes the remaining player. She killed 3 different people holding the bomb. The problem is that still doesn't save the Renegades just yet. There's still plenty of money to be invested back in. Twist can afford an AWP if he so desires it over on that T side. Nifty will, however, get one of his own. Actually, by the looks of things, it is just going to be rifles over on the T side. Maybe a bit of a faster round. Utility isn't actually going to be a problem here for Renegades. They've managed to pretty much get themselves a full investment, but at the same time, if GODSENT can win this round, they will be back in trouble once again. Either way, they are looking to speed things up. Straight in towards middle they go. Nifty's going to be there on the angle. Azza actually holding. He gets a double with the UMP, but eventually is overwhelmed. A decent position from Ustillo, but this time he can't be the hero they need. And it's going to be left onto JKS and Jacob. In terms of utility, in terms of a retake, they don't have much at all. But there's a couple of low players. Actually, the T's. This is interesting. They have the A site. It's theirs. They can go plant the bomb. Eventually they will. But they're ready and waiting for any sort of rotation now. Twist is actually very low on HP. So he could definitely be the sort of opener that Renegades need. But by the looks of things, they're just clearing out the spawn. They may be looking to save.
Yeah, I think they most definitely are at this point in time, Tom. The bomb goes down. And now maybe you'd be tempted, but still you've kind of let that clock tick down. You've dedicated to the save. They're not going to go for it.
I'm actually quite surprised by that.
See, one of the things that I'm liking right now, at least, it is going to bode well for any Renegades fans out there, any budding fans of the boys, is, you know...
So you?
Well, no, I'm just saying this is like, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but, like, point is, Azza is looking pretty good. And I think he's one of the players who, when he's feeling it, they can do quite well. The one thing that's a little bit scary at the same time is that's twice in a row now Nifty's lost that opening duel over in mid. And we know how key Nifty can be for this squad. GODSENT, they've looked impressive so far. These fast executing towards the A bomb site. These are things that, you know, Renegades have toppled teams that I think we could say, you know, are objectively better than GODSENT are doing, but they're looking fantastic in these opening fights right now. They've won out almost every single duel they've taken. And it was only really thanks to a couple of blunders in the previous round that Renegades were even allowed a way back in. So the Swedes are looking dangerous heading into round number 6. There's no money left for the boys. And just one M4, 2 M4s rather, can't count. Can't say numbers, I know how many there were. But yeah, that's all they've got really to fight with into this round.
Yeah, they're going to need some sort of hero play, but I do think that Jacob is a man who can definitely do that. They're going to gamble heavily over towards this A side of the map. 4 men ready and waiting, and because of the entries that have been coming in, I'm not overly surprised by that. Jacob looking for a bit of a peek. Freddie B try and find some sort of opener of his own, and actually his twist. Instead, you still are forced out. And actually, aggressive peek. They don't actually spot JKS, just lurking above. They haven't been able to do anything about him, so the man advantage is going to go over towards this CT side. The problem being, though, there is no one on this B site at all. And slowly, Disco Doppler looks to just creep into this site. The rotation is starting to begin, but I think it may just be too little too late, as the bomb should be able to go down. They do still have a kit onto JKS, and they retrieve themselves a rifle onto Ustillo. So this round isn't dead to rights by any stretch of the imagination. However, given an opportunity, they don't quite take it. Doppler is going to bring it back into a 3 versus 3 with Twist tagged down to just 37. Problem is, they've still got a lot left to do.
Yeah, real issue here as well. His bomb is planted rather for Brolin, who's down on Banana. As it goes peeking in, Disco Doppler going to spot him out and out for JKS and Jacob. They are going to keep stepping forward. JKS is tagged down so low with no smoke to cover off CT. Saving is going to be a real hard task. And it looks like Jacob has decided just to tuck himself away. For JKS, he dies to the bomb here. Now that Jacob's been brought down so low as well, they both might fall at the hands of the bomb. JKS is able to escape at least. GODSENT, though, they're going to manage that 5th round. It was a lot more expensive than I thought it would have been. They are able to recover the AWP. Oh, but it's a bit awkward for Renegades. They can't really afford the buy. They're just going to have to partial buy around this. One thing, hilariously, that I only just realized, like, as in 20 minutes ago, was like the GODSENT logo is all like Illuminati and stuff.
How did you only just
I know,
that?
exactly. I've literally been watching them for years. So, yeah, really dropped the ball there. But that's opened me up to a whole new plethora of memes at some point in my life.
That's why their stickers are so valuable.
Yeah, exactly. No, it all makes sense. Here's Frederick over towards the top of mid. My goodness, look at him go. He's got wheels for feet as he won't take a seat, charging in towards CT spawn. JKS still with that M4. He was almost a hero a couple of rounds ago, but this time they're like, oh, how's he there? CB going to manage one before the trade comes through. Now 1v4. The bomb heading up through Banana as the B-bomb site is once again left empty. Hampus going to try and take the M4 away. Won't manage to do so. Now JKS on 5 HP just has to try and save.
Not so much he can look to do in this round. I do wonder, like, if you were him at school, you would introduce yourself like James Bond. My name's Savage. Justin Savage. Like, you have to do it. Same as Rob's. My name's Cool. Robin Cool. Like, it just has to be done. Like, you can't do any other way.
Well, it's funny because if you think about it, if you call him like Mr. and then instead he sounds like an ice cream.
But it's Mr. Cool.
I'm Mr. Cool. Or like maybe like some sort of like fizzy drink.
Maybe if his name was Whippy or something like that, that might work a little bit
No, but
better.
it's like, you know, like you could imagine it, couldn't you? Like,
Yeah.
oh, drink.
It's Mr. Cool.
Yeah, in some like really like badly translated advert. It's like,
Hey, come down to Mr. Cool's workshop.
exactly.
I don't know. I feel like Mr. Savage is someone who just, like, ruins people on online forums.
Yeah, he's like some
Well,
sort of
how do
super
you
villain.
know? Well, I was going a completely different way with you.
Yeah, no, yours was like an online troll.
Yeah, Mr. Savage.
Yeah, I can't think of any super anything where their first thing is Mister, like because it's such like a normal
Doctor.
Mister. Yeah, Doctor
Dr.
Savage.
Savage.
That's pretty cool. Maybe someone could create a show around that. Have JKS
Dr.
voice.
Savage and Mr. Cool.
There we go. We've done it. We've done all the hard work for you. The groundwork's there. We just need an artist, director. Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of people.
We need to buy both players out of their contracts to be able to use them in the show.
Yeah, that's going to be the tricky part, isn't it? But, you know.
They're both doing quite well. Well, not so much in this map, at least. JKS does manage to do a little bit of damage to the economy of GODSENT towards the end. But at least for now, CT side, they have themselves back a 4 point. Nifty on that AWP. Jacob already getting tagged down within inches of his life. Normally pretty successful on the banana. We saw them absolutely obliterate Optic. He was having an incredible game when they played for that Cologne qualifier. Fact is, though, at the moment, GODSENT looking like they have their number. And, well, Renegades really haven't got off to a strong start on that CT side. GODSENT already with 6 rounds, which, although we can see a lot of teams rack up T rounds, this is starting to get a little bit worrying. And Renegades want to get back on the board in quick fashion. Either way, T's setting up a little bit of utility. The bomb still sits over towards the B side, but they're not dedicated just yet. They're waiting just in case there's any form of aggression. The CTs do look like they have a decent read at the moment, at least, because they've got 3 players over towards that side of the map. But as I say, we'll start getting itchy feet and start to question whether this push is actually going to be coming in with 35 seconds left. B looks like the point of contact.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the clock. Now the smokes rain in. Jacob on the boost has it all to do as the smokes nullify the rest of the team. And JKS Molotov down into the open. Azer's here to help out, and my goodness, he does. But Twist and Doppelin between them, the Molotov going to help out. 14 seconds. Disco Doppelin, 33 HP at a 1v2. Both players from Renegades coming from CTs behind the first kill on a Nifty, and now it's Ustillo to try and topple the man from GODSENT. One shot is all that it takes from either party here. The bomb ticking down, and Disco Doppelin. Open hand flash goes high from Ustillo. He's going to look to try and get on that bomb. Smoke follows, but Disco Doppelin is incredibly fast, and there we go. GODSENT find a 6th round. What a clutch. Keeps his cool in the 1v2.
Mr. Cool. Well, 7-1. Your boys definitely don't seem like they've risen to the occasion just yet on Inferno. And it's only going to be pistols left into this round. Now, the one thing I will say is if you look at the economy of GODSENT, it's not like these rounds have been anywhere near dominant. It's not like they're winning with 4 or 5 players left and they're running away with the economy game. They're stacked, they're set. The fact is they lose 1 round and their money actually gets called into question here. So a lot of damage is being done by Renegades. They're just unable to win any of these clutch situations. They're unable to win those final duels, and GODSENT just been able to make things very, very difficult for them. JKS looking for a little bit of a peek. This is already going to find that opener, leaving Jacob here all on his own. Been playing a pretty similar position for the majority of the game, and they know exactly where he is already. Pampas gets the second, and now the CT side don't really have a leg to stand on. Nobody anywhere near this B site. May even be worth just keeping the CZs, as the chances of getting back into this are slim. By the looks of things, just going to look to try and find some sort of exit.
Keeping 5 players alive is very, very beneficial because, as you just said at the start of this round, Tom, you might think their money would be massive for a team that's up 7-1, but they are still, you know, on the brink of that reset area. This time, they're going to get to have that money reinforced with 5 players surviving. I've been very, very impressed thus far with GODSENT in this map. The Swedes really showing up, rising to the occasion. They want to show, you know, the young talent in Sweden, which I don't, you know, it doesn't really feel like it gets all that much credit anymore. Oh, wait, hang on. I can assure, never mind. I don't even know where I was going to go with that. Tom, how you doing? You feeling all right? Because I'm clearly not.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. 8-1 up. The odds starting to look like they make a little bit more sense as GODSENT 8-1 up at the moment.
This is normally a good map for Renegades as well. They've fallen very, very flat here. GODSENT, the fast plays have been catching them off guard time and time again. And so now Renegades, this time going to try and switch things up. You have Nifty playing over here at B. Normally it's JKS and Jacob. You can see they've switched him around over into the A bomb site as Nifty looks to try and take control with the AWP. The benefit of having him here, now you can rotate JKS away, frees up an extra man to hold the A bomb site. But if they're going to do that, he has to get there very, very quickly, as it looks like GODSENT, they're about to commit to the play into this A bomb site. There's that rotation I was on about. You can see JKS hightailing it in through CT spawn. He's going to get here just in the nick of time. GODSENT now with the utility being thrown out, about to try and make this play a reality. Jacob's fully flashed, but he's tucked himself away. They spot out as a first. Disco Doppler with the opener. And Jacob through the smoke, gonna delete twists. Back. Oh my goodness, Ustillo was not ready for that. He's gonna get shut down. 12 HP though on Hampus. This round should be done, and Renegades should be finding themselves a second. The bomb's falling down on the top of mid.
Hampus, he would have to hit something nutty to be able to bring this one back, but it's not going to happen. He still does enough damage that he's going to make things a little bit more interesting. As the CT side, they're still going to have to juggle weapons around just to be able to get a buy on the board in this round. And while the T side got those AKs, even still with the streak of rounds that they had, you'd expect them to have more of a bank. But it won't actually matter if they manage to win this next one. Then, well, I feel like Renegades would almost be in turmoil. I have seen them pull off some pretty impressive comebacks over the last couple of days when in Cologne. Like, they were ridiculously far down on the T side, or went into the T side of Dust 2 and managed to string an insane amount of rounds together. Same actually happened on Mirage. It was their T sides that were really bringing things home. The CT side that seemed to have some problems, but, well, they're going to want to at least give themselves a fighting chance here. They lose too many more rounds and problems really could arise. Nifty going to have to actually escape off the edge of the Molotov, but doesn't take too much of a hit. It's him and JKS left on the site, both tagged and both with a small amount of utility left. Again, we're going to see this heavy short control, which does have a risk towards it. If they manage to sort of smoke off those players and actually wrap round towards Arch, there could be some definite problems for Renegades, but well, they've already ran this a little bit. Aggression this time will be caught out, as Ustillo's going to be going down. He has been one of the anchors of this A site, but already T's, they're going to double back towards B, and after not being spotted, this should give the CT side the info. The problem is the info's about to come a little bit too late. A quick trade as JKS, he gets one but can't do anything more, and in a 3 versus 2 with the bomb down, well, it's going to be difficult for Renegades.
It most certainly is. Jacob and Hazza, and already that's it. The save call comes in. They're not even going to try and go for this one. Right now, bottom of the board for Renegades is Nifty, the AWPer, and IGL.
1 and 10.
Yeah, you can tell, I mean, even from watching him, right? Like, usually we see him on the scoreboard be the guy to find these openers, create space for them on Inferno. The bad news is, as well, as he moves into the T side, he's not really a very good T-side AWPer on this map, but I mean, not many AWPers are. It takes a certain kind of AWP. You know, you need someone who's very, very flashy, can play things very, very aggressively, because a lot of the angles do just benefit CT-side AWPing in that stance. I mean, really, some of the only AWPers I can think of on this map that don't drop off massively is someone like Guardian. Or, you know, maybe someone like Simple, right? They're the kind of AWPers that can do this. Whereas Nifty, I don't really think he fits that profile. So the pressure's going to be, you know, even more on in the second half of this map for him. And, you know, it's kind of inevitable that if you're like an IGL who's normally quite a good fragging IGL, especially if you are the AWPing variety, even the calls you start to make kind of drop off, right? The more you struggle. And, you know, I mean, maybe that could be the case now. There has been a reasonably good showing from a few guys on the Renegades roster, but GODSENT just seem to be outclassing them in every way right now in this first map, which is the map pick of Renegades we should highlight. Twist, he certainly hasn't missed a beat with the AWP thus far. He's up here towards the top of mid. He's going to try and clear this short angle. You can see 3 players for Renegades stacked up inside of the B-bomb site. The test now is about to be for Nifty and Ustillo.
Second round in a row, Ustillo's going to attempt something a little bit more aggressive. Of course, this time it's only with pistols. They've stacked both rifles and the majority of their personnel over towards that B site. Although actually the time it's taking the T side to actually execute here could make things a little bit more difficult, but with Nifty falling, nothing more should come of this. I imagine they'll just want to keep those rifles back into the next round, but again, this could be the potential flawless round for GODSENT, something that hasn't really been there for them. They haven't been keeping these rounds clean. That was the one sort of shining light at the end of what was a pretty dark tunnel for Renegades, was, okay, we've been keeping this close. We've been making sure that their money isn't crazy, so that when we do win a couple, then we should reset them. The problem is, thus far, they haven't been able to do that at all. And we're getting towards the end of the half where likelihood is they won't.
Yeah, this is moving on towards what could be a pretty crushing defeat for Renegades. A 10-2 half on your T side is already phenomenal for GODSENT. Anything more at this point is just a bonus. Now, if they can hold on to these rifles, that's going to be fantastic. They're able to keep the one on Azza, but that will be it. Buy comes in now anyway, but you can see the effect it would have had. Had they been able to keep both of them, you would have had a full buy across the board. Could have had Azza throw a rifle over to JKS. Everyone else would have had guns, and you would have had full utility behind it. But now, money's in such an awkward spot, they just have to partial buy into this round. They can't actually justify going for it. I think at this point in time, it really is pick your poison, right? Like, you could make the argument for a force here with the 1 AK, or you eco. You know, you're still like at a horrific disadvantage in one way or another. They're going to try and go for it, rushing down through mid. Jacob's going to manage one, but this round's already over, and it's a pretty clean one for GODSENT. 11-2 as they're able to topple the Renegades defensive down through mid. Now the buy does come in. AWP going to be out for JKS and Nifty. And I think this is a nice change. I do like their double AWP setup. JKS has looked very, very good in this game thus far as well. And I think maybe we could see him pick up the slack where Nifty has kind of failed to do so. So keep an eye on him with that secondary AWP. For GODSENT, though, just got to play the same as what they have been doing. They've looked phenomenal. Their game's been on point.
Yeah. Doppler has had a standout performance, and Twist has been up there as well. This is it, though. Nifty definitely not feeling shy as he goes all the way in towards Alex. Looks to try and take the early fight. This time you still will win his early battle, and well, not expecting Nifty to be up that aggressive. This time they found 2 opening picks on the Renegade side, so at least kicking things off with a bang. Twist and Doppler, the 2 players just highlighted alongside Freddie B, will look to try and turn this back, but just look how passive the remaining CT side players are over towards that B side, at least holding all the way. Little bit of aggression coming out over towards A, just to try and spot if anybody is pushing in this direction. And because nothing is seen, we actually get a smoke thrown out on that B side, just to try and slow down any pushes that would look to come in from the Swedes. And I think there's even a temptation from Azza to start making a rotation back towards that site. JKS also, his AWP hasn't been spotted yet. He has now, as he quickly takes down Freddie B. Doppler less with nothing much more. And although Twist is pretty quick on that trigger and will be able to take down one, he's got so much left to do. Jacob, a little bit of a sketchy spray, and even loses his life as well. Finally, though, Twist caught with a nade in hand, and it will be 11-3. Both AWPs will be kept to make sure that the setup can continue. But as said, so much money left for GODSENT now in this scenario that they can buy very comfortably into this round.
Yeah, they most certainly can. An 11-4 half potential for Renegades, but 12-3 also on the line for GODSENT. I think, you know, really not a good outcome for Renegades over on the CT side either way. At this point in time, JKS can try his hand at the aggression down. Banana forced off the angle, throws down the Incendiary to deny any sort of push on the back of that missed shot. He's going to hang around. They reply with a Molotov of their own, and that now pushes him back in towards that B-bomb site. GODSENT have been very, very proficient at forcing Renegades off these angles, taking map control. With 1 minute and 20 seconds left, they've started to squander a lot of this utility that was over. Thing to note, there's no smokes left for anyone on Renegades, so they're relying on those 3 Incendiaries to deny the aggression from GODSENT.
Yeah, that is actually quite worrying when you think about it. It's still a minute left on the clock and not a single smoke. What is that? Nifty just been absolutely ruined. He couldn't even be fast enough to click the trigger. Twist has just decapitated him within a split second, and now there really is an opening towards this side of the map. As they're going to try and just wait behind the smoke, sneak in towards this corner, which may not be checked a second time, but it means his teammate is left with little to no help. Ustillo trying to hold this down as they do look to make their push on towards the site. He does find one, and actually the counter flashes are working wonderfully. Will be Twist once again, though, to find another pick. 30 seconds left, and now Azza has made his way into the site. Yet to spot anybody as they round the corner. Freddie B finds another and a second for himself as well, as the 12-3 now looks likely as, well, I don't even get to finish the sentence before Hampus closes things down. Twist there with just 2 lightning-fast picks, and as said, he's one of those players who, if he rises to the occasion, if he is on form, he can topple any team. At the moment, Renegades look like they just don't have anything to respond.
Yeah, some of those kills he was getting, they were unreal. And like I said, it takes a very specific type of AWPer to be able to work on the T side of this map. And I mean, he's showing up in spades right now. He looks phenomenal. So this is where I think things get problematic for Renegades. You could look perhaps maybe JKS and Azza both being able to, and you still own all fairness, pretty much everyone apart from Nifty really showing up.
Well, I would say more so the worrying point for me is Jacob, because when I've seen him recently playing over towards that sort of banana spot, he was like running down banana and finding triple kills. Like he was doing ridiculous amounts of work, and 7 for 11 for him in this team is very quiet.
Yeah, most definitely. And Brolin all the way down at the base banana. That's freed up an extra man to rotate into the B bomb site. Also means the flank is going to come through very, very quickly. The smoke pops late, and Hampus, he's found himself a double. Already the rotations are in, and they're getting torn apart. This round's over. All 5 players survive for GODSENT. Renegades, they get completely annihilated there.
I think Twist's face pretty much said everything that needed to be said. It was just almost like a sort of relief that he didn't die, because I think he missed a few shots, and just sort of a laugh of just like, how did we just win that flawlessly? They all pushed into the site. Yeah, they had a great read, great crossfire, but they didn't kill anyone. They didn't manage to do anything in that round, and this should pretty much be done. GODSENT would have to make some pretty catastrophic mistakes. They've gone straight in with rifles, and okay, we're so far in front. We know they're going to have to force here. We might as well just try and trounce them. Who cares about making large amounts of money? We can try and farm up as much cash as we want. The fact is, in a couple of rounds, the game will be done anyway. So let's just play this really safe. The only thing that really could be a problem for them is the fact that they don't have much utility. But the fact is, the T's have none.
Yeah, some big shots would have to come through. And already Twist with the open up double kill down in mid. Renegades getting completely locked down every avenue they try and head towards. They're going to be forced to make a decision. They have to go for something. Even the bomb plant is worth its weight in gold to them at this point. They need all the utility, all the firepower they can get in these coming rounds. They just can't seem to get out of mid. Brolin's now here, and he's laying down the pain. Flash goes out. Almost able to find Jacob there through the smoke, and Twist has just tucked himself away up in the graveyard. Going to go peeking up. Has that crossfire with Disco Doppler down in the pit. And it is just Jacob, 1v5.
So much left to do, and does manage to at least take down Disco Doppler. Twist is pretty low on HP, but it won't matter anyway. 4 kills for Twist. Again, another clinical one from him. 2 of those he actually had on 2 HP, and he's now 20-6 on the board. He's overtaken Disco Doppler, who's still 17-8. This has been a masterclass. Brolin, at one point, was further down the board. The fact matter in these sort of matches, someone has to be in the bottom. Somebody has to be taking a few shots to the face, otherwise, well, it'd be 16-0. And yeah, this is what it comes down to. A P250 and a flashbang for Jacob, and that's literally because he was able to get a singular frag in the previous one. Not expecting much, if anything, from Renegades here. And then they're fighting for overtime with 12 rounds in a row needed.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, you can kind of like, once again, it's like pick your poison. You know, you either go for the force and have a low chance of winning, or you go for the full buy. It's like either way, it's not very likely. I think at this point, it's quite easy to maybe start to write this one off if you're Renegades and just look to focus on that next map. One thing I think it's important to note is they recently lost their coach, Kassad. He quit the organizer.
Almost.
Nice little frag movie for Hampus. Sure.
He was so
eco
close.
frags nonetheless, but still, you know, everything's a stat pad at this point in time. Yeah, like, they recently lost their coach. Kasadi played a very, very big role in this team, and I don't, not having that kind of guy who can calm them all down.
That's interesting, actually, because we haven't seen a pause from Renegades.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know what the current situation is with that. I know that, like, Dallas.
Well, Renegades got no, not Renegades. Nifty has got another job. He's now coach.
Yeah, well, like
in-game leader, Orpa, coach.
Dallas was the last event with him at it in attendance, and now he's gone. You can see like they haven't really had any time to recuperate from these rounds that have just been landslide victories. They've just been kind of rolling with it. What can you even do, really, Nifty? I hate to see it. Oh, Hampus. Oh, he's just ridiculous. Yeah, not usually an AWP, but sure.
He's pretty mean with it.
Yeah, he is pretty proficient. It feels like every Swedish person is. They're just born with the ability.
I always remember Pronax with that AWP, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. They're going to be heading the way at Hamper, so he's already been on a final one. Freddie B inside the bomb site with him. He's still like trying to clear out this A bomb site along with JKS. Renegades, their forces spread thin. Can they find anything?
Just look at the frustration. Like, Ustilo does not look happy. Obviously the scoreline, but it's just not going well. And Brolin, too, through the smoke. A man who's been pretty quiet so far, but while this is over, Azza left into a 1 versus 4, and he will not get anything done. GODSENT absolutely dominate in that first match. 16-3. This was the series I was expecting to be the closest one we've seen so far, and that is the most dominant victory we've seen. That was unbelievable. Well, me and you. There have been more dominant games across the day, of course, in their SK series. We saw 2 very dominant maps, but this is unbelievable. They have come out of the blocks firing. They now go on to their map choice as well, which is worrying. Of course, Renegades, definitely a side I feel that can come back, but they're going to need to have like a serious chat and just say, look, guys, that did not go away. Let's write that one off and come back stronger.
Yeah, and that's kind of a tricky thing to do, right? They lost, like I said, I mean, this is why I bring up the whole coach discussion, right? Obviously, you lose Kasadi, been with the organization for quite some time. He knew all the players so well, so he kind of like knew what to say, knew how to get their hearts and minds back in stuff. And now you don't have that, right? You don't have like that father figure anymore at the head of the team to direct you. And, then on the side of GODSENT, they were just playing their game. They were playing very, very fast. There was lots of aggression. Twist was absolutely unreal, in my opinion. Like, his ability to contribute with the AWP on the T side, that's not something that,
as well.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not something that's so difficult to do, right? Is AWPing on the T side for like any team, right? But yeah, I mean, he looked so good in some of those, especially with like some of those shots into Nifty. It was so impressive, being able to out-AWP.
Those peaks.
Just like such a stellar AWPer who's normally so strong on the CT side. But, we can talk about it all day, Tom. We're going to go ahead and throw this one over to a break and then be back with map number 2.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Brolin from GODSENT. Good to see you.
Good to see you there.
Have you had enough rest since last weekend in France?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. We have practiced a little bit, so.
Okay, coming directly from one tournament to another, is it difficult to stay focused and also energized?
Yeah, we are still focused. I think we have we have practiced for 1 week, I think, like 5 days maybe, to this event, and yeah.
You had a good placing at DreamHack Tour in the top 3, but maybe you could have gone further. Have you been able to identify any mistakes or things you could change, which you have changed, coming into this tournament?
I think we played very, very bad against StarSeries in the semi-final. I don't know, it's just, we did not play our game. We were some of the team, my teammates or me especially, were a little bit nervous and did not have the aggressive positions we mostly have, so it was just a bad game for us.
And so, Brolin, you're about to go up against Renegades. It's a team that I don't think you've personally played against before. And so, how does that factor in? And just overall, what are your thoughts on them?
Renegades are very good. They have players like Nifty. He's very good with AWP. JKM, I played with him many times in Europe. Yeah. So,
do you feel like you and your team are ready for them specifically?
Yeah, we don't I think we can beat everyone in this tournament. We are very comfortable to come here and just beat every opponent.
Awesome. Well, Bronnan, best of luck.
Thank you.